Welcome, everybody. I'm Andee Hoig, and I'm here with Jenny Petz. She is a Go Red for Women survivor, and we're going to be talking about her story and the 2020 Go Red for Women Expo coming up at the end of September. Jenny, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, thank you. You bet.
Well, let's just first start off. We've been involved in the Go Red for Women Expo, for years and years. And I always know that a big part of that event is, the survivor aspect, because heart disease is so important and it does affect women. So I just want to kind of dive in and tell us your story. Why am I sitting here talking to you?
Okay. Well, it was 12 years ago now. So, and I was 32. And I had a heart attack, full-on heart attack.
Wow.
My son was 8 days old. It was a very rare kind of heart attack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's called SCAD, spontaneous coronary artery dissection. So my LAD just kind of blew apart, and I got 3 stents and was sent on my way to deal with all the trauma. And It's been a ride. So yeah. And long story short, I have hereditarily high cholesterol, which who would have thought? I've always been pretty healthy and active and trim, and I didn't know. I didn't know my numbers. And so one of my arteries was having to work extra hard because it was blocked from high cholesterol that I had had since I was a child. And I wasn't on top of it. I didn't know.
Yeah,
so
at age 32, you don't know that, nor are you thinking about high cholesterol.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason, and there's no, it's not just an old people's disease, and heart disease is a scary thing. And I was unaware, and the pregnancy put me at a higher risk, and it was like a time bomb waiting to happen. And I'm what
were your symptoms? How did you,
First of all,
and what brought you to the hospital?
Yeah, I was delirious because I had just given birth, first of all, and women a lot do not have classic heart attack symptoms. Yeah. I did. My throat started closing. I started panicking. My heart was racing. And my left arm actually even went numb, and I hit the dust. I passed out on my floor. And my mom was in town from the holidays and having my son and my husband at the time, they were both there. Thank goodness they saw it happen. And my mom put a baby aspirin under my tongue, and they called the ambulance, and the ambulance came and got me. And even the emergency room didn't really know what to do with me. They thought maybe it was a seizure until they finally did an EKG, and they were like, oh my goodness, you're having a heart attack. So.
Yeah. And I think 12 years ago, I'm not a doctor and whatnot, but I think 12 years ago too, heart disease for women, there's so much more research, and there's so much, we're looking at that in different ways. And maybe 12 years ago, you actually weren't looking at that.
Yeah. No, not at all. It's grown leaps and bounds. And, that's why I love supporting the American Heart Association Go Red for Women campaign, because heart disease in women is, it's very common, and people just are not aware of it. It doesn't judge who it's going to attack. It's a silent killer. Yeah. I didn't know that I was a time bomb waiting to happen. And, that is what the American Heart Association does. And the Go Red for Women campaign, we are raising awearness so women are aware. It's a deadly disease. Kills more women than all cancers combined.
That is crazy. And I know for years that's, this event really, it brings that awareness up. But I know the American Heart Association is constantly pushing that message out. But it does take having interviews like this and talking to somebody who's been through it, because, it just was not something that was even in your mindset. And also just having a baby. Yeah. You're thinking about your baby.
Yeah, it was twofold. It was very difficult.
Yeah. So we've talked about heart disease is deadly for women, and it doesn't always show the classic signs. The Go Red for Women movement. So how long have you been involved? Have you been, I think probably at past events?
Yes, I have. Immediately after I got through the whirlwind of what happened and got a grip on my anxiety and my fear and the the post-traumatic stress that I had, and I got a grip on that. But those first couple years were a real big fog, and I did what I could, but there was little known about the type of heart attack I had. And now I'm in a study at the Mayo Clinic, and there's a lot more being found out about it, and I just feel so much better telling my story because I actually understand it. So this year I got chosen by the National Go Red for Women campaign, class of 2020 Real Women, and there's 8 of us, and we got to go to New York and do a lot for the American Heart Association already this year. It's kind of been put on hold a little bit because of the whole COVID, but so I'm really trying to get my word out on more of a national level, just because if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. So
I mean, and this is, I'm going to kind of spring a question on you that you maybe wasn't on our list of questions.
Okay.
I mean, do you have like a couple things, or what are 2 or 3 things that you would suggest to women to just be ultra aware of?
Well, you need to know your numbers. Even if you're doing the best you can and you're healthy and you eat well and you exercise, you still need to know your numbers, your cholesterol numbers, your body mass index numbers, your blood pressure, your body sugar. You need to know all of those things, because even if you don't think you are affected, you could be. So that's the number one thing, if just be as healthy as you can, which I already was. So you just got to be aware of your family history and your numbers. Yeah.
So let's the next minute, let's just talk about the Go Red for Women, the event coming up, just the basics, because it is virtual this year. Like so many events are going virtual. The date, or is there a timeline, or?
Yes, it is Tuesday, September 29th from noon to 1.
Okay.
Yep.
And then
virtual. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
The website is www.heart.org/OmahaGoRed.
Okay. Yeah, which it's an important event. Again, I hope next year that we can be back together. But I am so happy that we're having it this year. And it is virtual, because there's so much great information, and go to the website to find out even more. Yeah. But like you said, how can women take care of their health is know their numbers. That's probably the number one thing. And from there, you can kind of figure out, what do I need to do? And that's a doctor. People can, tell you what to do. And also the website for the American Heart Association. Yes. So much great information.
It's a great tool. It really is.
Yeah.
Great.
So Jenny, I just want to thank you, for coming on and chatting with me today. And so glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, and thank you for the information.
You're welcome. Thank you for spreading the word and supporting Go Red for Women.
Yeah. And folks, again, American Heart Association, their events coming up, and check it out. So we will be right back.